Hello and welcome to Idea Again. Today we want to talk about digital ecosystem in Iran, which is good for investors and experts and for businesses who wants to expand their businesses. Let's start with internet penetration. Iran has a relatively high internet penetration rate with a significant portion of the population having access to the internet. According to the report by Data Portal, the internet penetration rate in Iran stood at 70% in January 2021. The same report indicates that the number of internet users in Iran increased by 739,000 between 2020 and 2021. Another source, Hootsuite, states that the number of internet users in Iran was 58.42 million in January 2020. The social media platforms like Instagram, Telegram, and Twitter are widely used in Iran. Telegram in particular has a massive user base and is often used for communication and content sharing. Of course, I want to talk about WhatsApp because after the government filtered most of the application that work in social media field, people switched to some application that they could use of them without any VPN. So after the last year, most of these social media platforms was filtered by the government. And right now, people go back. It's like returning to the time. بازگشت در سفر. I don't know what's the meaning of back in time. Yes, back in time. And they are using of Telegram again. If I want to say something specifically, I have to say, according to the report by State Counter Global States, Instagram is the most popular social media platform in Iran, with a market share of 34.75% as of October 2023. Other popular social media platforms in Iran include Pinterest, Reddit, and Twitter, and also in sending message, telegrams. E-government initiative. The Iranian government has been working on various e-government initiatives to improve public service and digital infrastructure. Yes, finally I said it. Mobile usage. Mobile phone usage is prevalent, with a growing number of users relying on smartphones for various online activity. However, according to a report by Data Portal again, the median mobile internet connection speed in Iran via cellular networks was 40.97 megabytes per second in January 2023, which is a 62 approximately % increase from the previous year. The same report also states that the number of mobile internet users in Iran increased by 739,000 between 20 and 21. And another source, Statista, reports that the number of mobile subscriptions in Iran was 135 or 36 approximately million in 2021, up from 127 million in the previous year. E-commerce. The e-commerce sector in Iran has been expanding with platforms offering a range of products and services. Digital payments method and online banking have gained traction, simplifying transactions and contributing to the growth of the digital economy. Tech education. There is a focus on tech education with universities and educational institutions offering programs in IT and related fields. Right now, I want to ask of Amin to talk about the startup ecosystem in Iran, and you will be more understand about our ecosystem and our digital ecosystem. So be with us.
The startup ecosystem in Iran. Startup hubs. Tehran, the capital of Iran, is a hub for startups and entrepreneurial activities. Various co-working spaces and incubators support the growth of new businesses. Iran's startup ecosystem is one of the most vibrant in the Middle East, with Tehran being the hub of the country's startup system and scene. According to a report by Startup Link, Iran ranks 83rd globally in terms of startup ecosystems, with Tehran ranking first in Iran and 240th globally. The report highlights the diversity of startups in Iran, including those in fintech, e-commerce, and healthcare sectors. The report also mentions that the Iranian government has been actively supporting the country's startup ecosystem with initiatives such as the National Innovation Fund and the Iran National Tech Fund. In addition to Tehran, other cities in Iran are also emerging as startup hubs. For example, the city of Mashhad has a growing startup ecosystem with a number of incubators and accelerators supporting the city's startups. Other cities such as Shiraz, Isfahan, and Tabriz are also home to a number of startups and support centers. Next, we have government support. The Iranian government has expressed interest in fostering conducive environments for startups, providing support through initiatives and funding. The government has been actively supporting the country's startup ecosystem. In addition, the government has been working to create a favorable regulatory environment for startups with the aim of attracting foreign investments and promoting entrepreneurship. The initiatives such as the National Information Network and the Smart City Project. These initiatives are aimed at creating a conducive environment for startups to thrive in Iran. The government has also been supporting startups through various loan and aid packages over the years. In addition to establishing technology parks and accelerators, these efforts have created thousands of jobs for young Iranians while contributing to the country's GDP. Next, we have funding landscape. While the funding landscape may not be as mature as in some other regions, there are angel investors, venture capitalists, and government funds supporting promising startups. Iran's startup ecosystem is characterized by a diverse range of startups, each working on innovative solutions to address various challenges and opportunities in the Iranian market. While the funding landscape may not be as mature as in some other regions, there are still a number of funding options. Angel investors are one source of funding for Iranian startups. These are typically high net worth individuals who invest their own money in startups in exchange for equity. They can provide startups with not only funding, but also mentorship and guidance. Venture capitalists are another source of funding. These are professional investors who invest in startups in exchange for equity. Venture capitalists typically invest larger amounts of money than angel investors and can provide startups with access to networks and resources. In addition to these, there are also a number of government funds supporting Iranian startups. For example, the National Innovation Fund and the Iran National Tech Fund are two government funds that provide funding and support to startups in Iran. These are just a few examples of funding. Next, we can talk about startup events. Events, conferences, and competitions focusing on startups and entrepreneurship take place regularly, providing networking opportunities and exposure for new ventures. Iran's startup ecosystem is characterized by a vibrant community of entrepreneurs and professionals who are passionate about innovation and entrepreneurship. As a result, events, conferences, and competitions focusing on startups and entrepreneurship take place regularly in Iran, providing networking opportunities and exposure for new ventures. Some of the most notable events and competitions in Iran are Iran Web and Mobile Festival. This festival is one of the largest tech events in Iran, which attracts thousands of participants from all over the country. The festival features a range of competitions and exhibitions, including the Best Iranian Website and Best Iranian Mobile Application Awards. Iran Startup Weekend. This event is a 54-hour competition that brings together entrepreneurs, developers, and designers to create new startups. The event provides participants with the opportunity to network, learn new skills, and pitch their ideas to a panel of judges. Iran Entrepreneurship Forum. This forum is an annual event that brings together entrepreneurs, investors, and policymakers to discuss the latest trends and challenges in Iran's startup ecosystem. The event features keynote speeches, panel discussions, and networking sessions. Next, we have Iran Startup Accelerator. This accelerator is a 6-month program that provides startups with mentorship, training, and funding. The program culminates in a demo day where startups can pitch their ideas to investors and potential partners. These are just a few examples of the events and competitions that we have in Iran. Next, we have Tech Talent. Iran has a pool of talented tech professionals and entrepreneurs contributing to the growth of the startup ecosystem. The country has a large pool of skilled IT professionals supported by a number of universities and research centers, which provide a steady stream of talent to the industry. The IT industry is also supported by a smart city project. In addition, the country's startup ecosystem is characterized by a diverse range of startups, each working on innovative solutions to address various challenges and opportunities in the Iranian market. This diversity is a testament to the talent and creativity of Iran's tech professionals and entrepreneurs. The next item that we have is key sectors. Iran's startup ecosystem is characterized, as we said, by a diverse range of startups operating in various sectors. Some of these are technology. Iran's technology is one of the most vibrant in the Middle East, with a number of startups working on cutting-edge technologies such as artificial intelligence, blockchain, and the Internet of Things, or IoT. Next, we have e-commerce. Iran's e-commerce sector is, of course, growing rapidly, with a number of startups working on online marketplaces, payment gateways, and logistics solutions. Some of the most notable ones are Digicala, Bamilo, and Zoot Food. Fintech. Iran's fintech sector is characterized by a diverse range of startups, such as mobile payments, peer-to-peer lending, and digital wallets. For example, Saman Bank, Novin Pay. Next, we have health tech. Iran's health tech sector is also growing rapidly, with a number of startups working on innovative healthcare solutions such as telemedicine, medical devices, and health data analytics. Some of these are Digimed, Amin, and Salamat24. These are just a few examples. On the next item, we have the challenges that we face in Iran in terms of the startup ecosystem. For example, according to a report by the United Nations Development Programme, Iran's innovative ecosystem is characterized by startups, incubators, accelerators, venture capitals, and science and technology parks. This report provides a holistic view of the innovation context in Iran, starting with an overview of the country's innovation infrastructure and its place in the global innovation map, followed by the existing governmental support for Iranian startups. It also highlights the socio-economic characteristics of startups, the demography of startup support system, and the effect and impact of sanctions on Iran's innovation ecosystem. Fourth, Iran's startup ecosystem is one of the most vibrant in the Middle East, as we said. The Iranian government has been actively supporting the startup ecosystem with multiple initiatives. And Iran's digital ecosystem is growing rapidly and is expected to reach 100 billion by 2025. The government has been investing heavily in the country's digital infrastructure with initiatives such as the National Information Network and the Smart City project. The digital economy is characterized by a diverse range of sectors, including e-commerce, fintech, and digital media, which we covered in great detail. However, there are several challenges that Iran's digital and startup ecosystems face. These include regulatory barriers, skill shortages, and the lack of funding and the digital infrastructure gap, among others. But despite the challenges, Iran's innovation ecosystem has shown remarkable resilience and growth in recent years, and the government's continued support for startups and digital infrastructure is expected to drive further growth in the years to come.
As Amin talked about our startup ecosystem, right now I want to say why Iran could be a good and valuable market for investors. Because with the report that we published in our news channel, you can see Sedat have 9 barabar. What's the meaning of 9 barabar? I mean, 9 times profit. And Sept, I think it was their profit was more than $79 million, I think. Am I right? It was in our weekly news. You can see the profit of our startups and our businesses here. I want to say, this market, with all of these numbers that we are talking about, for example, in social media, we have more than 40 million active users, which is very good for platforms, goods, product, services, anything. So that's a good market. If you're thinking about a business or invest on some businesses, be with us, because we want to talk with the owners, co-founders, CEOs, and the governmental section to talk about our ecosystem. So don't forget to subscribe us, and don't forget to follow us and put that like button. Have a good day.